Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. It's that time of the month again. It is completed pages for the month of January. I believe I have 11 or 12 pages here. I'll double check at the end. That seems to be about the average for me now, is about 12 pages a month, especially since I'm busy with work and because I started taking a little bit longer on some of the pages, doing like blending and shading and some of those techniques that you see on Instagram for like the sky and the water and stuff. So in general, it takes me a little bit longer to color a page than it used to. But let's go ahead and get started with my project book, the new Easy Coloring Book by Joshua Dunbar. I'm trying to color this whole book if you haven't seen that already, and it is 65 pages, so I figured that for me to finish it in 12 months, I would need to color 5 pages a month. So let's just get right into it. Oh, and I do try to theme the pages around the time of year or whatever, but I ran out of winter pages, so for this month I used a random number generator, and I just generated 5 numbers and I went to that page number. But sometimes I think I do have half the book colored now, so if I had already colored page 32, let's say, then I would just generate another number and go to that page. It actually took me a while to get 5 pages that I hadn't colored, but that's why the pages seem super random this time. So anyway, the first page here is this fish page, which I have actually seen a lot of people color. Very typical for many people to color this fish yellow and orange, which I've done that before too in some other books, and I kind of didn't want to do that this time. I wanted to do something a little bit different, and there was this book that was quite popular when I was a kid called The Rainbow Fish. I think maybe the book is about sharing. It's like a picture book for very young children. But the cover always stood out to me, and I always remember it in my head because the cover has the fish on it and he has shiny scales. I think maybe the book is about the fish giving away some of his shiny scales to his friends, something like that. So I went and looked up a picture of it and tried to recreate it the best I could, but I didn't realize until the end that he actually has yellow lips instead of blue lips, but oh well. So this is my recreation of the rainbow fish, and I did actually do his shiny glitter scales. I don't normally use glitter pins in this book. I just try to use my markers and maybe a little bit of highlights, but I did get out the glitter just because it's very true to the actual cover of the book and the story. I did show this to Doug, and I asked him if this looked familiar at all, and he said, oh yeah, it's the rainbow fish. So I think I did a good job if he was able to recognize it for sure. Happy with how that one turned out. Then next I did this card page, the Queen of Hearts, and I just did this one in all reds and pinks. Didn't really have an idea for it otherwise, personally. I mean, when you think about, you know, pack of cards, they're not really very colorful. I guess I could have done it in grayscale too, but I thought the red looked a little bit more interesting. I will say it was kind of hard to color the upside down mirrored image. It's very interesting to do. But yeah, this one's just super basic. All of my red Ohuhu markers that are in the 72 set. I think that's the size that I have, is 72. And then next was this key and lock page. Another super simple, straightforward one, but I went with a silver key instead of gray just because why not? And I did do some gel pen highlights. It really honestly wasn't until I colored this page either that I realized the key had the shape of the 2 swans on it. And I after I colored it retrospect, I did like the key part last, the middle of the key. After that I thought about it and I was like, if I would have realized it had swans on it, I maybe would have done the ribbons and stuff in a different color instead of this blue and green theme. Maybe I would have done it in more of a pastel spring vibe, but I seriously didn't even notice the swans until I colored it in. I think the next one is, yeah, sideways. This like makeup page, jewelry store, perfume. Actually, I'm very happy with how this one came out. It turned out really nice. I'm very happy with how my perfume looks in the glass jar of perfume, although I do think maybe I should have picked a different color than green, because I don't really associate green with anything very pleasant, I guess. I should have made the perfume maybe pink or purple or something. But I'm especially happy with how the lipstick turned out. I think the shading on like the metal part here and on the plastic looks really good. Yeah, and last but not least, this one's kind of a failure. Just a warning before I pull it up. We had the jacks with the marbles, and only this marble turned out very nice, I think. So it did have, you could see where I've colored the pattern that was on the marble on this one. All the marbles had patterns like that, but coloring them, I don't know. They just turned out a little bit weird and funky. I think this one's okay. This one looks the best, this one's passable. This one's just terrible. I don't know what happened here. I don't know if this pattern was just too hard for me to follow or I did not pick the right colors. It just did not turn out. It turned out really, really weird, and I'm just not very happy with this page at all. I mean, I'm happy with this marble. This one looks really good. I just don't know why I couldn't translate this to this. Yeah, I have no idea. Yeah, I do believe, though, that I am like halfway done with this book. I don't have that many pages left, so it should be finished, I would think, this year. I've kind of saved all the flower pictures, which there are a lot of them in here, to do like March, April, springtime. So you'll be seeing those. Okay, next up I have a couple of color by number pages back to Kira Shershneva's Women's World color by color. You guys know that I absolutely love her color by color books that have people in them, and I miss her dearly and wish she would come back and release another one. So I have just kind of been slowly savoring this one, and I still have my blotter page in here. Let me pull it out. I did this page for India. I've been doing this book in reverse order because if you do it in order, then obviously it covers the back of the page here where your color guide is. So, and I just like to use Sharpies and Bic markets in this one. Markets, markings, and I'm actually sure anymore. They changed the name on them. I think they used to be Market, and now they are marking. Yeah. Okay. So that's what I used for this page. This one's nice. I like the desert scene with the sky and the flowers. Although my, this dark color here, which is actually the marker I just pulled up, I think it's called Desert Rose, my favorite colors in that set, is a little splotchy, but that's okay. Let me try to hold this a little bit so that it's not so reflective. The only problem with this type of paper, which I do love coloring on, especially for color by numbers, just color so smoothly, is that the light, my ring light, reflects off of it so bad, and it's a little bit hard to see. But yes, we have this page here for India, and I think the next one is maybe Korea. I only have like 9 pages left in this book, so I try to go kind of slow and savor it, like I said, because I've already done her other one. Is it Country Life, maybe, or Country Girls? I can't remember which one it is. I think it's just Country Life. I've already completed that book fully and have a flip through of it up on my channel, so I try to go slow. Next, back to the Mosaic color by number by Jennifer Rowling from Bright Ideas Paper Publishing. I really adore her mosaics because they're 4x4. They're a little bit bigger. And I use water-based markers exclusively in these because it's easier for me than alcohol markers. The alcohol bleeds too much. But we have this really nice tiger page. It turned out really, really nice. It took me a while to guess that this was actually going to be a tiger because I'm so used to them being, of course, orange and black. I didn't know white tigers exist, of course, and this is a white tiger. But I'm just so used to them being orange and black and everything I've colored, and myself even making them orange and black. So it took me a while to put together that this was definitely a tiger. But this one turned out super fantastic. Her pages always do. They just look amazing when they are completely colored and finished. They always look stunning. I have completed the whole Dazzling Animals #1, so I was super glad she released this one, #2. I would be thrilled if she released #3. But yes, this is just the Ohuhu water-based markers. I have a set of them, and actually they have lasted a really long time. Let me see what size set. I have my swatch chart here. Oh gosh, I didn't write it down, but it's a very large set. One of the larger ones. and they do actually last a really long time. The only one now that I don't have anymore is the black, just because there's only one black in there, and you use black all the time. I mean, look at some of the other pages I've done here. Black, a lot of black, black on that one. And then again, the other book, I colored every single page in it. A lot of black on all of them, and you know, that one just ran out. So I did use a black Sharpie for this page here, just to fill in the spots that were black. And like I said, they don't, it's a little bit hard to color a perfect square with a black alcohol marker or a Sharpie because it bleeds over a little bit, which is why I prefer to use the water-based markers in these books. But I still am very happy with how this one turned out, thrilled with how it turned out. And this one has been very cat heavy. So if you like cats, get number 2 because it has a lot of cats in it. I think 3 of those pages out of 4 so far have been cats. Next I have another page from North Pole Elves by Morgan O'Brien. I don't have his winter matchstick mouse, but I do have this North Pole Elves one, which is very cute and not totally Christmas themed. It has a bunch of just otherwise winter pages in it with a lot of little animals. So I did this page with the lynx. And I did look up a picture of a lynx to look at how I should do its pattern because it was just blank, it didn't have any spots or anything on it. And I wanted to try to do it as accurately as I could. And I'm very happy with how it turned out. I do wish I would have waited a little bit on the baby for its face to dry a little more so that the these lines here on the eyes would have been a little sharper. I can zoom you in a little bit, I think. Yeah. So you can see what I'm talking about. It's not as sharp here on the baby as it was on the adults, and so I should have waited for his face to dry just a little bit more. But otherwise, really, really thrilled with how this page turned out. I'm happy with how my pattern on my lynx turned out. I was happy in December with how the narwhal that I did turned out. I'm trying to learn to do some more sort of realistic animal patterns. So yeah, very thrilled. And this one was my Ohuhu markers. Just markers and then a little bit of white gel pen, probably a jelly roll to fill in the claws down here, these white parts on the eyes, and then the snowflakes in the background. Super thrilled with that though. And I'll zoom back out a little bit because all the other books are also the cute and cozy style, so we can zoom in a little bit, I think, for those pictures. All right. So I have another page here. Hold on just a second. My North Pole Elves just fell off the stack of books I have down here. Okay, there we go. So, Girl Moments by Coco Wyo. I have been enjoying this book greatly. I know it's very popular on Instagram and everything, but I also really like it. I'm a big fan of the art style. I wish Coco Wyo would, of course, credit the artist somewhere. I don't believe they do. Jade Summer does, but don't think. Yeah, they don't. So, wish I would know who the artist was because their art style is fantastic. But I did the ever so popular Snow Day page that everyone has done. And I can zoom out, I think, just a little bit more. Other way. There we go. Okay. Yes, I did the Snow Day page, all in Ohuhu markers, and I'm very, very thrilled with how this one came out. See, this is one of those pages that took me forever to do because I did a lot of blending and shading and everything. I think that maybe I could have blended the sky a little bit better so that it was a little bit smoother. But I am very happy with how my snow especially turned out. I've been following this tutorial on Instagram for how to do snow, and I've been doing it all in the month of December, and then I did it on this page, and this is of course a much bigger image, so I had to translate doing it in such small spaces because before I was doing a lot in like Camellia Angelcoa and Matchstick Mouse type books, that North Pole Elves one especially, where the images are way smaller, so I had to translate it to a bigger scale, and I actually think I translated it really well and that it turned out good, and I'm very happy with how that turned out. And I have shared the exact snow tutorial that I am using on my Instagram. If you go to my Instagram, which is under the same name, and you go to the little share tab, you will see a snow 4 ways tutorial there. I do believe that maybe it is by Southern Lotus, but I can check really quickly. Let me see. 4 ways to color snow. Yeah, it's this one right here, 4 ways to color snow. It is by Southern Lotus. And I just followed this very first one here for Classic Snow, and I have done that for all the snow pages I've been coloring lately. And I'm very happy that I was able to actually pull it off. And I'm also very happy with how my shading on the inner tube came out here, the blending and shading on this. Now for this one, I simply just saw someone else color this page, and I don't remember who. I probably should have saved it so I could give them credit. And I just looked at how they colored the inner tube, and I tried to just copy it best I could. But I used my own colors because I think they did theirs in like a rainbow type color, and I just wanted to use greens. Because actually, I think I may have, honestly, except for the snow and the trees and houses back here, I think I may have used pastel colors only on this page from one of the pastel Ohuhu sets. So I didn't really want to do a rainbow one. I just wanted to do like these pastel greens. The only difference was I kind of noticed as I was getting a little too carried away was that their white highlight went all the way around the tube, and I only did it in the middle, but I was just too carried away with my blending on the tube because it was coming out so nice and smooth. But yeah, very happy with that. And then I tried to do a little pattern on the trees to make it actually look like pine needles. And then of course there is a lot of white Posca paint on the snow outlines down here. I didn't do it on the mountaintop because it was a little bit different. It's a whole mountain. I only wanted it to be on the snow itself, the snow coming down from the sky, and on the trees, and of course like this right here and here. Actually, I'm noticing now that I missed a spot right here that should also be white, but it's okay. I can go back and do that later. But yeah, I'm very happy with how this page turned out. But again, like doing this type of page here rather than just straight coloring it takes me a really long time. You would see that I've done some other pages in this book where you guys have seen them in my completed pages, or I do more details and kind of try to shade the pictures. It takes a lot longer than just straight coloring the pages does. So that's why I don't get as many pages done in a month anymore. Okay, and next, and also last but not least, actually probably my favorite book recently, is Unfazed by Holly Dolly. She also goes by Holly Dolly Draws. That's what you will find her as on Instagram. Let's see if she has... Yeah, okay, so she has Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and you can possibly scan this QR code. I'm not sure if my camera will pick it up clear enough to take you to her social media, where you can find her and see her books and her releases. And this is Unfazed. This one's 40 pages. I've been kind of obsessed with this book. It's so fun. So I did 2 pages out of it this month. And first up, you guys liked this one a lot on Instagram. I did this one totally in the pastel Ohuhu set, except of course for the black leopard print. And I'm very happy with how this one turned out. I just love her art style, and I love the thick lines and the weirdness and the craziness. She has some other books out. She has a fairy one. She has mermaids. She has like a iridescent visions. It's kind of a weird one, but I would be like absolutely thrilled if she did a space one. You guys know how much I love coloring space stuff, like aliens, robots, astronauts. I think I'd go crazy if she released a space one. But right now I just have this Unfazed one. And she also has one called like Coup de Cuties, which is kind of like crazy girls with weapons like bats and maces, you know, like the medieval mace thing that like knights would carry around, and swords and stuff, and it's kind of fun and cool, and I do like that one a lot as well. But yeah, this one, just my pastel markers, which by the way, I find the pastel and lighter tones way easier to blend because I did all the blending on this background for the rainbow. And I find that they are way easier to blend into one another than darker colors tend to be. You know, if you compare like the Girl Moments, let me pull it back up, Sky, you can see that the blending is so much smoother from color to color here than it is here. And I don't know, maybe the pastel colors are just closer in range than the Sky colors here, but I just feel like the pastel colors are so much easier to blend. Again, I'm not like, I don't understand coloring on like a scientific level like some people do, where they really understand the color wheel and hues and everything, but I just think they turn out softer. There is a little bit of a glitter gel pen on this page though for this girl's jewelry. You can see the bracelets and her piercings, and you guys did like this one a lot over on Instagram. And then I have one more. Let me see if I can get to it. Here we go. I also did this one. I did this one since I did the other page in pastel markers. I thought, what if I tried to do a page just in the Oahuhu skin tone set? What would that look like? And I actually think it turned out really good. This is all the skin tones set. Yes, even the orange for her hair and on her outfit, that all is in the skin tones. And I think it looks quite nice. I'm very happy with how it turned out using such a limited palette. I believe I have the 36... Yes, I have the 36 count for the skin tone set rather than the 24, so I have a few more colors in here than you would have if you just had that one. But I wanted to do the background like the stripes around her from the lightest brown that I had to the darkest, and then I wanted to do her clothes and her hair in some kind of more interesting colors, and I wanted to make her gloves sort of like they were black and white, but of course there's no just pure white color in there. There was some sort of cream colors and such, and a dark brown. So I tried to do that, and I actually think I came pretty close with that. But of course I had to try to make her skin tone look a little bit different too, and it may be a little too close on some parts to the gloves, because it kind of looks here with this arm a little bit like she's not really wearing a glove as much. But still, very happy with how this page came out. These are so fun to color. They come together pretty quickly because they're such large, simple images with simple lines, but I think it leaves a lot of room for you to kind of go crazy and do whatever you want with them. And I think that my shading looks nicer on these than some of the other books because these look so cartoony. I feel like I kind of understand how to do shadows and highlights on like a cartoon image better than I do on something a little bit more realistic. And these definitely look like something that I would have seen on a TV show like on Cartoon Network or something as a kid. So that's why I think it's a little bit easier to do the shadows on these. And this one also has just a little bit of glitter too, same place on the piercings and on the necklace that they've got on. And I did cheat and use a gold glitter gel pen because I figured that matched the skin tone set the most. I think I do have an orange one, but I could not find it, so I did use glitter. But yes, those are all of my pages for the month, and before you go, I do have an announcement to make. So I don't know if I will upload a completed pages video in the month of February because I am going on vacation towards the middle of February, and I won't get back until like the second week of March. So I may not have that many pages completed in February, and I honestly don't know if I would have time to film a completed pages anyway. So I think I will bundle my February completed pages together into my March completed pages and then just have like a bigger finished pages video. So that's why I will not be around in February. I will be back regularly scheduled in March though, and maybe I come back with a few things to show you guys, or I take some videos on vacation and upload them, but I'm not going to take any books with me or any supplies because it's too much to pack all that. I have to pack other things, you know, clothes and toiletries and everything. I don't have room for everything. So you will see a video again in March. Again, nothing for February. I'm almost positive I just won't have time, and I may only have a few finished pages by that time. So I don't think it's going to be worth uploading a video if I only have, you know, 4 pages colored. Wouldn't be worth anyone's time, really. So yes, you will see me again in March. And by the way, I did keep count. I did have 12 pages for this month. Not the same big variety that I always have because I kind of colored in less books. Did multiple pages in a few of them. But I am very, very happy with what I did manage to pull off this month. Thank you guys so much for watching.